Hey, greetings, Performance Reviews, where I give the review from the technician's point of view. Today we have a Quantum X upright. Now I have a review on this machine, suggest you go check it out. If you're watching this, you're trying to restore suction or trying to get yours back up and running, or maybe you're just curious about it. If you like vacuums, definitely go ahead and hit subscribe. We do all sorts of content. So this is a bong, essentially, and a vacuum cleaner combined, and it's a little bit different than a rainbow, but also same. So, first thing we're going to do is pull the water tank off and set it aside. We're also going to separate the halves. There's a button down here, boom, that separates it. And if there might be something stuck in here, that would be the first thing I would look at. Now, up in here is the grossness. You see this separator. And this is, well, why this one's in here. So we're going to go ahead and take that off, pull the separator off. And it comes apart. There's a spider and a separator. They both just slide off. You see how crusty and nasty that is? That's caused this thing to be off balance, which is a huge problem. So we're going to go ahead and clean those. We also want to just make sure there's nothing else stuck in here, so I'm going to use my central vacuum. Alright, so that has been cleared out. There was some stuff stuck in this thing. And then what we have here is a Visselwerk 240 copy. So that's, very, very interesting to me that they just kind of blatantly copied a Visselwerk. And then they put like a notch here for some reason. So we're just going to go ahead and take apart all these screws. And like I said, this is a Visselwerk knockoff, so if anybody's seen me take apart a nozzle before. Oh, that's gross. Alright, so that comes apart. Do with that what you wish with that information. And there's stuff in here. And yeah, you can see there's all sorts of fun things. Let's see, we got the motor right here, random circuit board. The LED circuit boards just flop around. That might not be necessary. Let's see. So there's a reset button here, and we have a micro switch over here, so that's bound to fail. Not the reset, but the micro switch. Take the nozzle cover off. And these wires are just kind of wedged in here, so that's interesting. We're just gonna save ourselves the hassle. And we're just gonna cut these off. That way when I take the rest of this apart, we're not really worried about anything else. Just all falls apart. Oh my! That is a cheapo motor. Let's just take that out. That motor is super cheap. And I think the circuit board should go. Come out. This one. Alright, and then with the circuit board we had the plunger, so don't forget that. Alright, well you can see the problem. That is out of there now. So this is like quasi meant to be serviced. But weird. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna do that. And then that looks like it's soldered in. Oh no. Soldered in or clipped in? Well, Doesn't matter. We'll cut it. Alright, so I'm going to take this aside and go ahead and set that all on the tray. And then I think everything else in here, we're just going to go ahead and wash all that. That's gross. Let's go ahead and clean it out. Alright, so that gets washed. Curious how this bin comes apart. Oh, that all comes out. And I have seen these where this baffle gets lost, and it's super important. So don't lose your baffle. Before we get going, we're going to just take the baffle off. Yeah, then we'll be able to get in there, get that nice and clean. You can see how dirty it is. So that's how we take that apart. Let's go ahead and wash this stuff and turn the camera back on once all clean. Alright, we have washed everything thoroughly and took the hair off this roller that I did off camera. Let's start putting this thing back together. And I'm kind of like chuckling to myself because it's really not meant to be taken apart this far. This is very much like a assemble once at a factory and throw it away when you're done sort of job, the way they designed this. But whatever, we got to do what's right by the customer here. So this guy goes here. And that, you can see where the wires are supposed to go through. It's here. And the swivel neck only goes 90 degrees. It's really, really weird how unfar the swivel neck goes on this. So just give yourself some extra slack, and then you're going to feed all the wires through this cover. And there's also, while we're at it, in a minute we're going to connect everything. So you can see where this is supposed to be fed through. Right there. We'll center this a little bit more. For the sake of feeding those through. Alright. We got those, and then the motor wires are both shoved through this hole right here. Which would not have been my guess of where they go through, but that's the way it was from the factory, as you saw. Motor wires. And this is polypropylene. This is real, like, soft and flexible. So that, of course, is nasty. So as you can see, these guys right there. Put the belt on, and this belt, unless it's physically broken, should never need to be replaced. All right, we got that. And that goes on there. I didn't design it. All right, so that's all going to start going in place. Now we don't want to clamp this down yet. Now we need to settle this crap right here. And the LEDs are going to go that way, and the rest of this is going to go this way. So let's go ahead and do that. Give it a small screw here. Hold that board in place. And there was this little black thing, and this guy's just like it's like a button cover that goes somewhere. He's going to go on there, and as you can see, he goes towards the bottom on there. Now, the reason we're not putting this cover all the way down is we got to do something with this micro switch. I just cut it off. It's going to need to be soldered back on. So we're going to warm up the soldering iron here. The red leads, very simple. They just go to the motor. I don't think it matters which one. This is a AC motor. And then I've got some, I like these over wire nuts. I find that these are better. They do a lot better with the vibrations from a vacuum cleaner. Just crimp those on. Crimp those on. this just goes right here. Onto that. Alright, that's crimped on. And now we got to do this. And this is, let's see what this is. It's being a little difficult, so we're just going to go ahead and just solder it like this. There's room. Gross. Well, there is a gross solder job by me. I apologize to everybody who saw that. Who knows how bad that was. Oh well, it doesn't matter. So this now needs to go back to its home. That'll just sit in there like so. And as you can see, that's going to move up and down. So now that we have all that, now we can start pushing everything down and getting everything back to its place. All right, that's all back where it's supposed to be. And I guess the shorties are probably going to go right here in the front. Really wasn't paying attention when I took those off. Do you remember that these went like that, and they were just hanging out? They could almost short out on those screws, but whatever. That's how they made it. And yeah, you can see where the wiring just clamps down there, and it's like little homes for all the wires, and that's what you want to do. Just make sure everything's in its little home. And yeah, that's going to trigger the micro switch once this is all back where it should be. Don't know why it's not. I think this is just torqued from it being a hunk of junk. Let's put that in. I guess that one's probably going to go right there too. Alright. Alright, this is going to go here. That's going to reference with that. That's going to go clip in here. And you're going to see that, again, you're going to make sure everything, wires are all in their home so they don't get pinched. But there is your mechanism right there. I don't know how many times I've had to move these LED things back to their place while working on this. It's a real hassle. Alright, so if we just get everything else out of the way, looks like there's one more screw that should be right here. Yeah. Some of these screws go in through the back, some of them go in through the top side. Just be aware of that when you're putting this thing back together. It's very much like a Kenmore in the way that all the wires are just everywhere all the time, which I don't like. I like things to be tucked nice and neat. That is. Go on there. Again, so sandwich the bumper. Now holding that, you're going to flip it, and then the rest of these screws will just go in here. Just holding the covers in place. And this bumper is ripped here. Yeah, so that all spins. That is how all that goes into place. That's the weirdest swivel neck. Alright, so we got the main body of the machine, and I've got the separator here. And I'm in disbelief how dirty this is even after the dishwasher, so that might have to get washed again. But we're going to go ahead and install that, and I'm going to do my best. But there's a flat side to this, and you'll just feel around. There's the flat side. Now what's weird is there's a notch here, and a notch here that'll have to line up. There's really no reference on top, but that is lined up. Shake back and forth. And you have an aluminum nut. Do not understand that at all. I think that may be corrosion resistant, but so, you know, aluminum and steel tend to bind, so I'm not really a fan of that. It's supposed to be hand tight. We're gonna give it just a scoot there, quarter turn, so that feels torqued properly now. Spin, it is what it is. Again, this is all pretty dirty after going through the dishwasher, so we might actually send it again. I am dissatisfied with those results. All right, so we're gonna just run it dry because we just want to make sure that the motor is not gonna make a weird sound, and that was what it was brought in for.
All right, let's put this on properly now. And if you notice the sound change, I'm wearing a respirator because there's no exhaust filter on this machine, which means it puts a lot of the dust just right back in the air. The only thing that's going to get stuck in here is really big stuff like pet hair. And as you can see, really big stuff like pet hair, and as you saw when I turned on, all the dust just moved through. So that is working properly. It's how you restore suction and get this thing working. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up.
If you're looking to buy a respirator, I'll put a link in the description below for when you work on one of these, and I hope that you don't. And really, this is a bad idea for a vacuum cleaner. If you have it, I guess service it, but I would get rid of it as soon as it's financially viable if you own one of these. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Check out our Patreon, Discord, all that good stuff if you like vacuum cleaners, and have yourself a wonderful day.